What's up, guys? Anthony Cordova here, and today I wanted to talk about how your attachments are blocking everything that you want in life. This is something that I had to learn or reprogram my brain to understand that the things that I was attached to was blocking me from my best life, I guess you could say. When I closed my shop, or when I decided to close my shop, I realized that how attached I was to the idea of who I was in that moment for years, because for 20 years, I ran an unsuccessful business and sacrificed so much for that business, sacrificed relationships with my kids, which was the hardest part, not being there for them, not being able to provide for them all the time the way that I wanted to. And just for the sake of me having that attachment to that identity of who I thought I was. And once I realized that, after 20 years, it took me forever, because life's a ongoing journey and you're always going to be learning in life. So that's one thing that I had to reprogram my mind to understand, that my attachment was blocking me from probably one of the best chapters in my life. And once you realize that just living in your truth and living in the present and not being attached to the outcome, you'll realize that everything you want will come to you, will flow to you easily. That even goes with money. Right now, I'm having to reprogram my mind. I'm making more than I ever have before when it comes to doing the classic car stuff. But I had to detach myself from the outcome. I didn't think that I would actually be still doing or restoring classic cars or building lowriders. That was always something that I wanted to do for the longest time. Sorry, a loud car went by, but for the longest time, I was working on mainly muscle cars and hot rods, because I gave up on the idea that I'm going to be able to build lowriders like I wanted to, because in my mind, and what people always told me was like, oh, you're in the wrong area. You need to be down south in the LA area, where people actually pay more for doing those type of jobs if you want to do those jobs. So having that mindset of scarcity with money and scarcity with my mindset in general, because everybody told me that it couldn't be done. And when I let go of that idea and just lived in the moment, when I closed my shop, one of my clients, which I'm doing now, that has a collection of cars, actually told me, just come work for me. I'll put a shop up for you, and you just come solely work on my collection, or I'll buy cars and you restore them or customize them or whatever. I had already just about finished a car for him, and I ended up closing my shop because of whatever. I ran out of time and ran out of money, and none of the jobs were really paying at that point anymore. I mean, I could have taken more work, but that would have just been more irons in the fire, and I was tired of doing that. I was tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul, and that's what I did for probably a good 20 years in my business, because as you know, if you bid jobs in the auto body or classic car restoration world, you will get upside down on these jobs. You will lose your ass on a lot of these jobs. And it was never about the money for me. It was always about the art and the expression and me wanting to be a part of these cool projects. But I sacrificed my whole pretty much existence for that idea of me being this top-notch classic car guru or builder or custom car builder. When I let go of that idea and just went with the flow and lived in the moment, everything fell into place after that. Everything, like now, I have basically no overhead. I get paid the same amount that I was charging at my shop, pretty much, for hourly, for labor rate, without having the headache of a overhead. I supply all my own tools, and I still buy tools, and that's part of my overhead now. obviously gas to get back and forth, but I'm reimbursed for all the materials and I get a good labor rate. So just letting go of the idea that I have to have a shop, I'm my own boss. I still make my own hours, but basically I'm working out of somebody else's shop on somebody else's collection. And another thing that I have to reprogram my mind to realize is that, for instance, doing this YouTube channel, when I closed my shop, I told myself I'm going to go full time into DJing, full time into music, and just forget all about the car world, or get out of the car world altogether. But I met my current girl. We fell in love. The first 3 months we were inseparable, and she was just a great person. And that's another thing. All this stuff has to do with attachment. I was always attached to the idea that I would never meet somebody in this town where I live, or in this area where I lived. I was always of that scarcity mindset that there's no more good women. And as soon as I changed my mindset and said, you know what, there are good women out there, there's plenty of girls out there. I started dating more in the last few years because I had been single for like 6 years. And as soon as I realized or told myself that there are plenty of good women out there, and my mindset changed, I started dating some cool girls, ended up meeting my girl, and we ended up getting together. We ended up moving in together. She helped me fix my credit. She takes care of me. She takes care of our son. I was able to bring another life into the world again with my son at 49 years old, basically, or 48, whatever it was, whenever he was born. But all that's a blessing. All that came from me living in the moment, instead of trying to anticipate and be attached to like how everything has to happen, how everything has to fall into place, or how everything has to work. I used to be so obsessed with the idea of controlling every move and every step that I took in life. But once I let go of that idea, or let go of like, this is how it has to be, that's when everything fell into place. And the next thing for me is doing this YouTube channel. It's a process. I'm going to have to just go with the process. I realize that I still have something to give this car culture. And that's when I started doing this YouTube channel. I wanted to just strictly make beats on. I have another DJ channel that I haven't posted on in a long time, but I wanted to strictly go on there and show my beat making skills, and maybe even do some singing or make some music, or maybe put out some songs. But I realized that my skills in that area are still kind of lacking. So in the background, while I'm doing these YouTube videos, I'm practicing and getting really good at piano and keyboard, and just honing my craft. I get up every morning at 4. I usually do a little stretch, a little meditation, and then start practicing piano, and then for about 10 minutes, and then I'll start doing these YouTube videos, or editing, or recording like I'm doing now. And I realized that I just have to let go of the idea of how it's going to happen. I mean, just 2 years ago, I was sleeping on a couch that I bought off Marketplace, in my office, in my shop. I could never have my kids over. I couldn't bring them to the shop. I mean, I could have, I guess, but they were already older. They didn't want to go hang out at my shop. So I rarely seen my kids. I was pretty much in a lightweight depression because of my circumstances. So, I mean, I live in a beautiful house now. My rent's not the greatest. It's kind of expensive, but all the rents are expensive right now. And I have an amazing partner and an amazing son that's going to turn a year next month. I'll be 50 next month as well. And I'm looking forward to living my greatest chapter and living my greatest life still at the age of 50. I still feel like I have another good 10, 15 years left. I feel great. I'm on a ketogenic carnivore diet, and I feel amazing. It's something that I also had to let go of the idea of how I ate and how I took care of myself. And I just kind of take it day by day and live in the moment. And I'm always of the mindset that everything is good now. So things are flowing to me. And the next step is my attachment of getting rid of my attachment of how money flows to me. I always tell myself now or pray and say that I'm abundant. I attract wealth and abundance. This is something that I used to have to write down because my mindset was so negative that I used to have to write down just over and over again. I attract abundance. I attract wealth. Money flows to me easily and abundantly for myself and everybody that's involved. That's one thing that I always told myself, and it's worked so far. I'm making more than I've ever made in this industry. I'm not done with it yet. My, I guess, employer, you could say, it keeps buying cars, so obviously he wants me to keep working for him. He's happy with the progress on the 58, even though it's taking a long time, but there's just quite a bit of work on the 58. There's a lot of work. This is the most work I've ever had to do on one car. And I have more content coming out on the 58. I have a whole segment about doing the body filler on the floors. That's what I'm doing right now. I wanted to primer the inside of the floor yesterday, but I ran out of time because I had to go do business. It was Friday, today's Saturday. And I didn't get to do a video yesterday, but I want to be dropping these videos where I'm talking about my lifestyle and myself in general and giving tips on just how to be better, how to be a better version of yourself. I also have to say, if you like this content or if you're getting any value from this, please support the channel by hitting the like and subscribe button and hitting the notification bell for when I drop more videos. That's all for this video. I hope you guys get some value from it and learn from my mistakes. All right, I'm out. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.